Hello friends, welcome to our channel Right Click Education. In today's video we will learn how we can implement Angular material autocomplete. Okay, so first we will take a look what is autocomplete and then we will try to implement it. Okay, so let's open Chrome, type Angular material, open material.angular.io, which is the official website of Angular material. Click on components. In the left side nav, you can see all Angular material elements are there. Click on autocomplete. Let's go to example. So if you see here, this is an autocomplete. If I click on it, you can see we have options 1, 2, 3 here, right? We can select any one of it. Okay, that is the first thing. Then second, if you type something in this input box, according to your input, the option will get filtered. Okay, so if you see, we can select this one, right? We will see two things. First, to show these options here, and second, if you type anything in the input box, according to the input, the options get filtered. Okay, so let's implement it. Okay, so click on API, copy this Mat Autocomplete module, go to your VS Code, open your app.module.ts. I've already opened it. Paste Mat Autocomplete module here. Now copy this Mat Autocomplete module under the ng module import section. Paste it here. So we have imported this one, right? And in order to work with the forms, let's also import the reactive form module. Okay, import reactive form module. Okay, and let's copy this and paste it under the ng module import section. Okay, now we are done with the import part. Now let's go to app.component.html and try to implement it. Okay, go to app.component.html. So first we will create a form. Okay, so let's create a form. Inside that form we will create mat form field. Okay, so create it, and inside it we will create input field. Okay, and let's give the type equals to text, and it should be mat input. This will be capital and close it. Okay, so now let's go to our UI and see if we have the input field there or not. Open localhost 4200. So you can see we have a simple input field here, right? Now let's go to our VS Code and we will add Mat Autocomplete. Okay, after this input field, and then we will connect that Mat Autocomplete with this input field. Okay, so first we will create an option array. Okay. So let's create one options array. which is a string array. Okay, and it has 3 elements in it. Let's make it fast. 1, 2 and 3, right? So we have 3 elements in this options array. Now we will try to show this options array into our input element. Okay, let's go to our HTML, and as mentioned, first we will add Mat Autocomplete. Mat Autocomplete. Okay, let's add it. And in the Mat Autocomplete, we will add options. For that, let's use Mat options. Okay, Mat option. Now we will loop through the options array and bind to this Mat option. Okay, so let's do it. Okay, so let's add one ng4. Sorry, ng4 equals to let option of options. Okay, and after selection, the value should be rendered as the option. Okay, and bind it here to this option. So what we have done here, we have created one input field. Okay, and we have created one Mat Autocomplete. In the Mat Autocomplete, we have this option where we are looping through the options array, and we will render each option in the options input field, right? Now let's go to our UI and see if it is working. Click on it. Oh, you cannot see any options, right? So it's because we haven't connected or linked this mat input to this input field. Okay, so how do we do that? So we use template reference variable in order to link it. Okay, so let's use a template reference variable. So let's name it as auto, okay, equals to Mat Autocomplete. Okay, and again here in the input box, let's bind a property that is Mat Autocomplete. Let's bind the same property here. This equals to auto. Okay, same mistake I've done here also. Fine. So now we have linked the Mat Autocomplete to the input field. Okay, let's go to our UI. Now click on the input field. Now you can see we have these 3 options, right? And if you select, it will get selected. Okay, but if you remember, we also want to filter between these options. If I type ONE, then these options get filtered and we will be able to select only filtered option. Okay, so let's implement that also. So since we are typing in the input box, that means we are controlling this form, right? So first of all, we need to add one form control to this input box. Okay, so let's add that. Go to our VS Code, go to app.component.ts, and let's add one form control. Okay, that is my control, name it as my control, and it will be of new form control. Okay, so this will equals, so my control equals to new form control, and if you see, this form control has been by default imported here. So we've created it. Let's go to our HTML and bind this here. So let's bind this input field. Okay, let's add form control. This will be equals to the form control that we have created, which is my control, right? So we have added this form control here. Now what we will do, we need to add the filtering logic on this input, right? So let's go to our app.component.ts. We will write one function, the filter function. Okay, so let's do that. So type private filter. Let's take the value. It means the string that is in the input box, right? So let's take that value, that is string, sorry, and now let's add one const, then filter value, let's make it to lowercase, equals to value dot to lowercase. Okay, to lowercase. Fine. Now let's return the filtered value, right? So we will return this dot the array, that is options, because we will perform filtering on this array only, and then we will do filter, we will filter this array. Okay, let's do that. So each option we will check, iterate to the each options, right? So option, do the filtering, right? Option dot to lowercase, option dot to lowercase includes filter value. Okay, includes filter value. So you need to understand what I have written here. What we have taken this string value, okay. So this is the basically let's go to UI, and if you see I type one, right? So the string that I am typing here, this is the value string, okay. So this is the value string. Now we are making this value string, okay, and putting it into the filter value in lowercase, okay. Now we will loop through this options array, check each options, I mean each element, okay, and if this element includes this filter value, it means if this string has anything common with a string that you have typed in the input box, okay, so that's this filter value, okay. Now what we need to do, we need to call this filter method, okay, on ng on it. What it does mean, so basically ng on it is the method that gets loaded whenever you compile your code, and whenever a component loads, actually the ng on in it method gets invoked, okay. So let's add ng on it also. So import on init, and also we'll implement on init. Let's create ng on init, okay, and now we will call this filter method from ng on it, okay. First we will control the change, okay, change in the value of the input string, and then we will call this filter, okay. So let's do that. So what we will do first, we will create one filter option, okay. So let's first import some of the things that is needed. So let's import, sorry, let's import observables. We will need observables also, okay. So it will come from the rxjax library, okay. Let's import map first. It's also from rxjax, and then start with, okay. So we have imported observable, map, and start with, fine. Now let's call the filter method in ng on it, okay. Before that, let's create one instance of observable. So let's add the filtered options, okay, type observable of string array, right, string array. Fine. So you can find this error, right, this filtered option, but this is because of the TypeScript. I am using the latest TypeScript. In order to fix this error, you can go to the ts config.json, and you can make this a strict property initialization equals to false, okay. It will fix the error. So you see I am not getting any compilation error, right. Now let's call this filter method, okay. So type this dot filtered option, okay, equals to my control, that is the control form control that we had added, okay. And if the value changes in this control, Okay, so value change, use the pipe. So pipe is basically used to format data. Okay, so let's use this pipe, which start with this null or empty value, you can say, and then map the value. Okay, map value equals to this. So we will call here the filter method. Okay, this dot filter, and we will pass this value to this filter method. Okay, now let's go to our app.component.html, and now we will iterate to the filtered option. Okay, because we want the filtered data in the options, right? So let's make it filtered option, and we will add one pipe. For pipe we use this vertical line. Okay, this pipe with asynchronous data. Okay, so add async. Okay, now let's go to our UI and see if it is working. So let's click on it. So you can see these options 1 2 3, right? Now if I type 1 O, so you can see these two options ONE and TWO, it both includes this O is string here, right? So these both are getting selected. Now if I type ON, then this ON string, okay, is included in this ONE option. Okay, now we can select it. Okay, so this is how you can implement autocomplete into your Angular application. I think you must have understand this concept, and if you have any doubts regarding this concept, you can comment below. Okay, and please don't forget to subscribe our channel if you haven't subscribed it yet. Thanks and have a nice day.